Dude, stop playing games!
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals.
Dude, not cool!
Today, we will journey into the minds of superheroes like Homelander and Omni-Man to discover our own self.
No! Get out of my head!
It's because deep down, there's a part of you that is still human. No.
You can't handle the truth!
Part of you is a dirty, shriveled, anemic little part of you that still mewls for approval and love and a mommy and a daddy and a boo-hoo-hoo.
We will unravel their god complex. Can we handle such omnipotence?
I'm ready, bro. Bring it!
We expose their hidden fragility and mirror to our own vulnerabilities.
I'm a god!
Venturing into their sociopathy,
A what?
we explore our capacity for empathy in a world filled with villains.
I am evil, therefore I am lonely.
We untangle their complicated relationships,
I hate the people who love me.
a key to understanding our own intricate bonds.
Love me!
You'll always take care of me?
Always.
You're mad creepy!
We delve into their childhood to illuminate the shaping of our own psyche.
I am so scared.
Join us in this thrilling psychological exploration. By understanding them, we unlock understanding ourselves.
That's deep.
Hit subscribe for an insightful journey into the psyche of superheroes and, in the process, learn about the hero within you.
I believe I can fly!
These stories of superheroes become your story of self-discovery.
You guys are the real heroes.
Let's begin this captivating exploration together.
You jock.
Welcome to another episode of Plaid Chronicles. God Complex. The inner psyche of a superhero can be a complex maze to navigate.
Stop playing games!
When we journey into the minds of characters like Homelander and Omni-Man, we unearth a potential psychological trait known as the God Complex.
So say goodnight to the bad guy!
This is a state of mind where individuals, fueled by their sense of invincibility and fallibility, elevate themselves to a godlike status.
You are nothing!
Often disregarding the well-being of those they deem lesser.
I just want to get
I'm not
down.
suggesting anymore. Jump.
I thought we were cool.
Oh, please. Oh, God. Oh, God.
No. No God. The only man in the sky is me.
What is wrong with you?
Imagine standing over an anthill. How do you perceive these tiny, seemingly insignificant creatures? This is likely how Homelander and Omni-Man view humans. Homelander's assertions of his superiority and omnipotence encapsulated in lines such as, "I can do whatever I want."
I feel the power now. I feel the power right there.
Head over the head, Macho Man.
Oh, no, man.
Starkly exemplifies this. Similarly, Omni-Man dismisses humanity as fragile, insignificant beings.
My turn.
Something tells me this is going to be bad.
Much like we might view the ants beneath our feet. The God Complex often correlates with a lack of empathy.
Just kidding, everybody. Just kidding.
Potentially a defense mechanism against emotional burnout from witnessing others suffering.
Okay, if you say so.
But what happens when these gods wield enormous power?
Look, kid, bad things happen.
Their sense of divine superiority enables them to justify atrocious actions, serving their own agendas under the guise of the greater good.
Accidents could happen.
Now, consider this. If we could interact with ants in a meaningful way, would we treat them differently? If we could teach them, would they become more to us than mere insects?
Yes, yes, yes.
This is a question posed by the concept of compassion training.
Obviously, normal sensitivity training isn't enough for you,
which suggests that even those with a God complex can be taught empathy and pro-social behavior.
I can change almost anything.
But would such interventions work on superhumans like Homelander and Omni-Man, who believe they are gods among ants?
Don't you dare!
As we explore their God complex,
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
we must ponder on the balance of power, the thin line between heroism and villainy,
I will end you.
and the weight of unchecked self-importance. It invites us to question, if we were in their shoes, will we see ourselves as gods or as caretakers? And how would we wield our power?
Whoa, 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 this isn't about me, this is about you.
Fragility. As we continue our exploration of Homelander and Omni-Man's psychology, let's delve into the concept of fragility. Although they might appear invincible on the outside, most characters exhibit signs of a core fragility that seems to drive their actions and decisions.
Hurt people.
Consider for a moment an egg. From the outside, it seems whole, unbroken. But apply enough pressure and it cracks, revealing the vulnerability within. This metaphor of an egg can be used to understand the hidden fragility of Homelander and Omni-Man. In The Boys, we see Homelander's fragility manifest in his desperate need for approval and adoration.
Why won't you love me?
It's most evident in Season 2, Episode 5 at approximately 34-minute mark.
Relax.
You don't speak for us! 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 You don't speak for us!
When the public's adoration for him wavers, his psychological armor cracks, revealing his internal fragility. His fear of losing control and adoration of the masses sends him into a spiral of destructive behavior. Over in Invincible, Omni-Man's fragility isn't as visible, but it's just as present. His fragility lies in his deep-seated fear of weakness, a trait inherited from his Vultramite culture. In Season 1, Episode 7, around the 42-minute mark, we see his determination to avoid vulnerability push him to brutal lengths, even harming his own son.
Why, Daddy, why?
These instances of fragility offer a new dimension to these characters. While they are superhuman in their powers, their emotional vulnerability is all too human. It's this paradox, this dichotomy between physical invulnerability and emotional fragility that makes Homelander and Omni-Man such compelling characters.
But really, I don't feel nothing.
However, Their fragility raises questions. How does this fragility influence their actions? How does it shape their relationships with others? And perhaps most importantly, how does this fragility reflect our own vulnerabilities? As we conclude this segment, we'd love to hear your thoughts. If you were in Homelander's or Omni-Man's shoes, will your fragility manifest in the same way? How would you handle their powers and their vulnerabilities?
This would be so easy.
Sociopathy.
A what?
Going over the concept of sociopathy, we'll use the analogy of a novel. You see, a person's life is much like a novel, filled with various characters, complex plots, highs and lows, joys and sorrows. Now imagine reading a novel with all villains and no heroes, where empathy and social norms are missing, replaced with bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits. That's the story of a sociopath. In the TV series The Boys, Homelander is like an author who writes a chilling narrative, a story devoid of empathy. A stark example in Season 2, Episode 3, around the 29 mark, he nonchalantly uses his heat vision to bring down a plane full of innocent people, showing a profound absence of remorse. His story is one of destruction, not protection.
You really are a heartless monster.
Switching to Invincible, we see Omni-Man scripting a similarly terrifying tale. In Season 1, Episode 8, around the 47 mark, he beats his son Mark almost to death, ignoring Mark's pleas for mercy. It's a narrative devoid of the parental love and empathy one would expect in such a relationship. The term sociopathy is often correlated with characters we perceive as antagonists, those who are dangerous to the peaceful narrative of society. However, Homelander and Omni-Man are more complex. They are characters who, while claiming to write tales of protection and heroism, often turn the pages to display shocking acts of violence and disregard for life.
You're wrong. I've seen you save people. I've seen you almost die to protect them. Maybe you were a Viltrumite when you came to Earth, but you've changed. You were happy here.
Sure, I was happy for a time.
This creates an uncanny blend of villainy and heroism, causing us to question the essence of heroism itself. So, are they still the protagonists of their stories, fighting for the world in a way only they can comprehend? Or are they antagonists, cloaking their destructive acts under the guise of protection?
I'm trying to help you.
It's a fascinating exploration of the psychology of these characters. As we wrap up this chapter, it's worth pondering. If we found ourselves as authors of such narratives, how will we write our story?
I think it'll be great, Morty. You know, it's...
And how does the presence of sociopathy in our heroes change our understanding of them and perhaps of ourselves? Your thoughts and insights are invaluable, so don't hesitate to share them in the comment section below. Remember, each one of us is an author of our own story. It's the balance of our characters, the empathy and the egotism, the heroes and the villains that determines the kind of narrative we create.
I'm lonely. Are you lonely?
Let's strive to write a story worth reading.
Am I trying much too hard?
Pathological relationships. Our next exploration takes us into the tangled web of relationships that these two characters, Homelander and Omni-Man, weave. Like a puppeteer pulling strings, the dynamics of these relationships often reveal the characters' true colors.
Ugh, this will not end well.
Have you ever tried to untangle a knot in a piece of string? Sometimes, the more you pull, the tighter it gets. And other times, a single tug unveils the whole thing. Relationships, especially the pathological kind, are a lot like these knots. In The Boys, Homelander's relationships act as these intricate knots, revealing his narcissistic tendencies. Take his connection with Madeline, Stillwell. It's not a typical bond based on mutual respect or affection. Rather, it feels more like a chess game, where Homelander is more interested in controlling the pieces than protecting the queen. Then there is his coercion of Starlight, a clear power play that further emphasizes his need for control and dominance. And let's not forget his mysterious relationship with Becca Butcher. It's as though each relationship is a knot, each more twisted and complex than the last, revealing the ugly underbelly of Homelander's personality and psychology.
Well, what are you ever going to do to repay me?
Switching gears to Invincible, we witness Omni-Man's pathological relationship with his son Mark.
For the first time in your life, I'm telling you the truth.
This isn't the loving, nurturing relationship we expect between a father and a son.
Duh.
Hey.
Daddy, I need to save them.
No. Maybe this time you'll learn.
Instead, it's reminiscent of a blacksmith relentlessly hammering a piece of metal, trying to shape it into a weapon, regardless of the damage he inflicts in the process. Omni-Man disregards Mark's feelings, treating him more like a tool for his species rather than his son. These relationships are, without a doubt, deeply problematic, even distressing. But they provide a crucial look into the psyche of Homelander and Omni-Man. They reveal how these characters perceive their connections with others, not as bonds of affection, but as means to achieve their ends.
You love me! You love Mom!
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet.
What is wrong with you?
To me.
A pet?
This is the only way, Mark.
Don't touch me.
Calm down.
I will not calm down! This is insane! This is my home, and I won't let you destroy it!
You don't know what you're saying, and I can't let you interfere.
So it's worth asking, are these relationships a reflection of their superpowers, amplifying their inherent flaws? Or are they simply manifestations of their individual personalities, their narcissistic and sociopathic traits? And here's another thought for you. If you had these powers, how would your relationships change? Would you remain empathetic, or would you too start viewing people as pawns in your game? Remember, relationships are like knots. the way we untangle them, the patience and care we exhibit says a lot about who we are. So the next time you find yourself wrestling with a knot, remember Homelander and Omni-Man and think about the kind of person you want to be. Childhood. As we delve deeper into the psychology of our characters, let's pivot our lens towards their early experiences. After all, as psychologists often argue, our childhood forms our foundation of our personality, shaping our perspectives, behaviors, and actions. Have you ever had a lump of clay? In its raw form, it's unshaped and formless. But as you knead it, mold it, and subject it to heat, it solidifies into a shape that lasts. Our early experiences work much the same way, shaping us as we grow, solidifying our beliefs, our behaviors, and our understanding of the world. Homelander's upbringing plays a pivotal role in his current behavior. Raised in a lab by scientists void of parental affection or a normal childhood, Homelander grew up as an experiment, a test subject. His world was one of cold, sterile laboratories and heartless instructions.
This to me!
Could this environment, devoid of warmth and genuine human connection, have shaped his inability to form healthy relationships, his need for control, or his detachment from the value of human life?
Did you know that I had a father out there? Alive this whole time? Really had me going for a minute there.
It's a disturbing thought, but one worth exploring. Switching over to Invincible, Omni-Man hails from Vultrum, a planet with a brutal culture where only the strong survive. From a young age, he was conditioned to believe in the superiority of his race, viewing others as weaker or lesser beings. This brutal survival of the fittest upbringing likely influenced his view on Earth and its inhabitants. Could this be why he seems to have little regard for human life, views his son as a tool, and deems his violent actions as necessary sacrifices? The childhood experiences of Homelander and Omni-Man offer a fascinating, albeit disquieting, perspective into their psychology. Their paths aren't excuses for their actions, but they do provide a lens through which we can understand why they behave the way they do. The question then is, are we doomed to be shaped by our past, or can we overcome it? And if we were in Homelander's or Omni-Man's shoes, would our choices be different? After all, like clay in the hands of a potter, we're all shaped by our early experiences. But unlike clay, we have the ability to reshape ourselves, to learn, grow, and choose who we want to be. So next time you reflect upon your own past, remember Homelander and Omni-Man and think about the kind of person you aspire to be. And there you have it. Another fascinating exploration at the intersection of pop culture and psychology here on the Plaid Chronicle channel. But our journey doesn't end here. We have a plethora of content ranging from business insights, investment trends, to deep dives into human behavior. Your thoughts, insights, and questions enrich our community. so don't hesitate to share them in the comments. And if today's discussion piqued your interest, we invite you to explore other episodes for our intriguing discussions. Knowledge is power, and each episode is an opportunity for growth. So join us next time as we continue to unravel the complex tapestry of our world. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired. See you next time on Plaid Chronicles. Thank you. Take care.